Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this story. This individual's name is Sander Sabo, and he was punched really hard on Saturday evening. It was actually early morning hour Sunday, and he had just gone to a wedding, his stepsister's wedding in Queens, New York. He's actually from Florida, but he was visiting in New York to go to his stepsister's wedding, but also for a work conference. He works for a digital ad agency, and I think he had been drinking, and he was knocking on cars' windows looking for a ride, for an Uber ride. According to his brother said his phone battery had died, so he's basically just trying to flag down an Uber driver or a cab. And reportedly, he knocked on the window of a white SUV, and an individual got out and confronted him and punched him. And it's described a couple different ways. His brother basically said, that Sander was backing up trying to avoid the punch, and what happened is that just compounded his force, his fall, because he ends up hitting his head on the asphalt, on the sidewalk or on the road. And by him trying to avoid the punch and actually get his momentum going backwards, just flew him, I think directly onto the ground, and then he smashed his head. So I remember seeing the story. This happened, Saturday, Sunday, and I saw that they had released some surveillance footage of somebody that they were looking for, the individual who hit him, and it's in various stories. Here it is right here, and the person's turned themselves in. The person who punched him and who allegedly punched him, and who's in the surveillance footage here. Um, and it's his he is he's an assistant coach at Wake Forest University, which is a pretty prominent basketball team. His name is Jamill Jones. He turned himself into Queens this afternoon, and he was in court this evening. It might have been earlier than this afternoon. I'm not real sure. That's him pictured leaving court. And he's pictured in court, just looking down and quite serious. His lawyer says, it's obviously, just a tragic situation. He's offered his condolences to Sander's family. Sander died. He died on Tuesday. And in this article here on the 6th, which is, I can't remember when the 6th was. The 6th was Monday. His brother said his condition was not good, and it wasn't looking like he was gonna make it, and he didn't. And he describes his brother as just the nicest guy. His work life was doing extremely well. He was just killing it at work, as his brother put it. And he says when he was hit, he was struck so hard in the face. His brother Dominic Sabo told the Daily News. His brother was backing up to avoid the punch, and the momentum compounded the blow. Dominic said. He was hit in the head on the asphalt. That's what caused the brain injury. Sander Saber was still getting tests in the hospital, but the outlook is grim, his brother said. He remains in critical condition at New York Presbyterian Hospital, and that's prior to Tuesday, where he did succumb to his injuries. He passed away. So, but like I said, this individual, Jamill Jones, turned himself in. It says Jamill Jones, the assistant basketball coach at Wake Forest University, who has been charged in the deadly assault of the Florida tourist, sent condolences to the family of Sander Saber, who was punched in the face and later died of his injuries. This was a tragic accident, and Mr. Jones and his family send their deepest condolences and their thoughts and prayers to the Sabo family. That's what his attorney, Elaine Messina, said. Jones was arraigned Thursday night in Queens Criminal Court on a misdemeanor assault charge and released on his own recognizance After entering his plea, the coach's next court appearance is scheduled for October 2nd, and it says his that charge could be upgraded depending on the autopsy. It says um, he has been charged with assault, though investigators say the charge could be upgraded depending on the results of an autopsy. The assault occurred while Sabo was on his way back to his hotel after his stepsister's wedding celebration on Saturday. Authorities said the unknown man punched Sander in the face after a confrontation and then drove off in a white SUV. And Dominic noted that prior to the incident occurring, Sanders' phone battery had died. Dominic speculated that his brother had likely been attempting to hail a ride back to his hotel and probably just tapped on the wrong guy's car that night. And it says a person familiar with the investigation told the Associated Press that Sabo may have been drunkenly knocking on car windows before Jones allegedly confronted him. The person spoke on a condition of anonymity because the person was not allowed to speak publicly. The coach got out, followed Sabo to the sidewalk, clocked him, and sped off, police said. Sabo never regained consciousness and was taken off life support on Tuesday. Sabo then fell and hit his head on the pavement. He was rushed to the hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries. So it's obviously, it's just a terrible shame. And, you can see clearly from the photos there that the coach, the assistant coach who allegedly struck him, Jamill Jones, is, obviously in, badly shaken and upset by it, and obviously it's just terrible all around. The man's dead. It's just a shame. It really is. So that's the story there, and thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. Later, man.